What is going on, everyone, and welcome to the Winning Mentality YouTube channel. And this is a massive moment for all of us, an exclusive moment, especially for our man in the top corner there, Adrian. He's loving life at the moment.
Yes, I am loving it.
Because today we are joined by a man, the myth, the legend, former Chelsea and Mansfield man, Mr. Jacob Mellis. How are you, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very good. I'm very excited for this. So what we're going to be doing with Jacob is talking through basically his career, and with Mansfield, obviously. Adrian will be loving that.
Yes.
He's a big Mansfield boy. If you can't tell, he is.
I am. I've got the shirt on, everything.
But where we'll start, Jacob, we'll start at the beginning, as that's probably the best place to start. Firstly, your first footballing memory, really, like what was your first thought of thinking I could make it in a professional game?
It was probably I never really thought about it, to be honest. I was just playing it to enjoy it. I think my friend was playing for a team, Vernon Colts in Nottingham, and he took me down one training session. So just from there, I think I was like 6. I think so. From there, ever since I just loved football.
Yeah, man. It's and well, it spiraled. It spiraled very well indeed. So you started your career at Sheffield United, I believe.
Yeah.
So how was that experience of being picked up by a professional club and then being taken all the way through there?
Yeah, it was like I played for City Boys. It was like a Nottingham school type thing, and then I think my dad must have took me late to one game. He was late, so we came, I think, like half time or something like that, and I came on for half time, and chipped the keeper. So from there, the Sheffield United scout, he was interested. He said, like, you need to come down. I think I was like nine at the time, and then from there, I just went to one training session, and they said they wanted to sign me. So it was all from there, really.
Yeah, and as you obviously said, you never made it through the first team because you got picked up by Chelsea at a young age, for a big price tag for that age. So what was it feeling like moving away from home down to London and training down with Chelsea?
It was strange at first because but I think I kind of set up for it because in the Sheffield United Academy I moved with the youth team. So when I was younger, so when I was 15, I moved with the youth team already. So I had like a year away from home already. But obviously, I think moving out to London was obviously a big change. So it was a bit strange. I didn't really like moving in with a new family. So that was strange for me because I'm quite shy. So like going to get food from the kitchen and stuff like that is a bit. But that was probably the main thing for me.
So when you first arrived at Chelsea, one of the youth coaches there was Paul Clement. When you were under him, did you know like how good of a coach he was, and how did he influence you? Yeah,
it's strange at Chelsea because obviously, like when you're there, you think your mind's like here, so you're not thinking, oh, this coach is unbelievable, or in terms of not unbelievable. I knew he's a good coach, but you don't know where they can get to. So with him, he was always a good coach. All the boys liked him, and good training sessions. So it was enjoyable under him. Yeah.
Do you ever envisage him actually going on to work under like Carlo Ancelotti as both assistant manager and then like become Swansea manager, become a Premier League manager as well?
No, that's the thing. When he got his chance with the first team at Chelsea, obviously Carlo was the manager. He took a like to him, and all the boys liked him. Obviously, good training sessions, with like good tactics and stuff like that. So from there, obviously, when I see him at PSG with Beckham, Ibrahimovic, players like that, it is a bit crazy, to be honest. But that's how football goes. You never know what can happen.
Absolutely. So you went through with Chelsea, you went through the youth teams, you did really well, including a few loan spells away from the club. Yeah. And it all came through to a few minutes on the pitch against Zelina. But what was the feeling when that happened? You played in Europe's elite competition.
Yeah, it was. I was on the bench quite a lot that season, but obviously I was never. When you're on the bench, you have a feeling, oh, I'm going to come on, I'm not going to come on. So it was never really. I was never really thinking I'm going to come on. But then I think Josh McEachran got cramp, so we needed a new midfielder. But Obi Mikel, I think he was warming up, and I think he had something wrong with his back or something like that. So he told Ancelotti, "Oh no, put Jacob on." So like literally, I just got stripped. I was waiting for the ball to go out for like 4 minutes. I was thinking, "Oh, I'm not going to come on. The ball's not going to go out." So it was a bit. But when I made the debut, it was a bit. It was all like a whirlwind, really, to be honest.
Yeah, like if you just look at it, like you played with players like Drogba, Daniel Sturridge, Nick.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was an Alka playing at the time, but
yeah, no, because
yeah. So what was it like training with those boys? Because there must have been like a little bit of a wow moment almost. People like Drogba, Lampard, Terry.
Yeah, no, it is. But then, you know, the top players like that. That's one thing I realised. They always welcome the young players and make them feel comfortable. So it wasn't. It was at first. It was like, what the hell? These are won the Premiership a year ago. You're just like a 16, 17-year-old boy, and you're thinking. But then once you get to know them, have a bit of banter with them and stuff like that, they're just like any of us. So it was all right after that.
Absolutely, and honestly, it's just like you're playing with them on FIFA almost, and then you start they're in real life. It's crazy stuff.
No.
So you, after leaving Chelsea, I believe you had a trial at Queen's Park Rangers, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Tell us about that really, because they were a Premier League side at the time. Why did you feel that the move wasn't right for you at the time?
It was basically, if I'm being honest, I was going to sign for QPR, and then an incident happened where me and my girlfriend had an argument. So it was on the front page. So I said like I trained on the Saturday, went out on the Saturday night. That happened on the Saturday night, and then so it was on the front page of the paper on the Monday morning. And I said to my agent, I'm not going to training. It's embarrassing for me. I'm on trial there basically, and there's big players there, Joey Barton, Adel Taarabt, all them players there. And I just thought, nah, it's embarrassing. I'm not going. And he said, oh, just go. Like, you need to go and see what they say, and this, that, the other. And then I didn't go. And then Mark Hughes was like, we want to sign him, but we've got enough trouble with Joey Barton. So he said, we're gonna have to not sign him. So that was pretty much what happened.
So I didn't even know that. So like, do you think in football these personal things like make a big dictation of where you're going to go?
Yeah, no, definitely. Especially for managers who are under so much pressure to get it right. If they get one bad sign and he caused trouble for the rest of the people. Just for example, I'm not saying I would have done that, but I'm saying looking from the outside, you would say, he's done that. So what? Who are we signing? Type thing. So for managers, I don't blame them. They do their background checks and stuff like that. So Mark Hughes, I never took it personally. I understood what he was saying.
Absolutely. So you went on. You played for Blackpool and then Barnsley as well. So you played with John Stones at Barnsley. That was an interesting one. What, obviously, he was a young lad at the time. Was there anything that you noticed about him at the time that you thought, yeah, you know what, he could go on to be a decent little player?
It's weird because with me, as soon as someone makes a touch or a pass, I kind of can, especially young players, I can kind of see, he's got something. But when Stonesy, we came back, that's the first time I signed at Barnsley, and he was like 18, I think. He was playing right back. But you could just say he was technically and athletically as good as the first team players. So I knew that season Keith Hill likes to play young players, so I knew he was going to get his chances, just whether he could handle it, and he did very well. And
he's gone on to be obviously one of England's best centre backs as well, especially with the ball. I'm just interested to hear your viewpoint on this. Do you think he's still got steps to make in his career? And do you think he's going to do that at Manchester City or maybe a different club?
Yeah, I think he will at Man City under Pep. I think he's gone. He made a rapid rise. And obviously now he's suffered a few injuries and stuff like that, a bit of form loss. But I think that once, probably next season, I think he'll go like that again. I think, and people will start saying, this is the John Stones that we thought we was going to have and stuff like that. So I think that's how it goes in football. You never know what someone's going through at certain times and stuff like that. But I think he'll come back to form.
And the final one from me before we head over to Mr. Keita over there, because he's jumping at the bit.
I'm waiting patiently.
You moved to Bury, obviously, who no longer have existence really in the
Yeah.
football league. Is there just describe like your time at the club and how that went, and obviously how it didn't work out in the end with the club, and did they always have these financial troubles?
Yeah, it's really sad, you know, because Bury's probably in my younger days, I always used to leave clubs in like I'm not one of them people who's very like, I don't speak too much, so you know, other people will be like, thank you to everyone and stuff like that. So I didn't really have like Twitter and stuff like that to do stuff like that. So, but Bury was one of the clubs where I left, and I felt sad to leave in terms of like the backroom staff, the kit lady, everything like that. So it was sad to see them what happened to them. But it was probably always going that way, because when I signed for them, they were signing big players, Leon Clark on big money, players like that. And a couple of times we got paid late, and it was not from Bury Football Club, it was from a weird company. So it was always, you always thought, this might happen. You never realistically think that Bury Football Club's not going to be there anymore. But obviously that's what's happened due to the poor ownership.
Yeah. So, Mr. Keita, I'll hand over to you, pal.
Handing over to me. I'm really glad. Well, yeah, you can tell I am a Mansfield boy. I live in Mansfield. So you and I are pretty local. You coming from Nottingham, obviously. And the first question I've got here, you signed for Mansfield in 2017 when Steve Evans was in charge.
Yeah.
How did it feel for to sign for a club like Mansfield? Obviously, being a local boy from Nottingham.
Yeah, no, it was good. It came at a good time for me, to be honest. My mum wasn't very well, so at the time, it was good for me to come back into the area so I could see her more often. So it was a good. And obviously, when I spoke to Steve Evans, at first I didn't want to sign. To be honest, I didn't want to go to League Two. But then when I spoke to the manager and saw the ambitions from the chairman and Carolyn, I thought, yeah, it's a good project. I can sign.
Yeah, it is a good project, but this season hasn't been the best, I must admit. But moving swiftly on, you scored a crucial goal in a 1-1 draw against Lincoln.
Yeah.
How it was amazing to see that goal obviously go in, Davis missing the ball and you striking the back of the net. Would you say that's one of the best goals you've ever scored and one of the most important goals you have scored in your career? Yeah,
for that. Obviously, it's a derby, last minute, and I think we were on a good run then at the time. We were stumbling in a lot of games, and we didn't play well that game. So to get a point there was last minute. It felt like a win. So I think that was a good goal for me.
Especially you shushing the Lincoln fans. I can remember that.
Yeah, no,
the celebration was crazy. And sticking with the goals, you scored your first goal for Mansfield at Cambridge at home. Did you feel confident stepping up to the penalty, because it was obviously a penalty goal?
Yeah, no, I think I came on that game. So
yeah, you did. You came on.
I was thinking, nah, I'm taking it. I think Kane Hemmings was trying to get it off me, but I was like, nah, I'm taking it. I took it, and then the keeper nearly saved it. So I was like, thank God that went in.
Must have been a sigh of relief, but obviously we went in and we went on to win the game 2-1. So
yeah, that Steve Evans would have battered me. So I was kind of bad.
You were at Mansfield for wait, no, that's the wrong question. What do you think Mansfield missed last season? Obviously we missed out going up into League One. We lost to Newport County in the playoff semi-finals on penalties. What do you think was missed from the formula for us to go up?
If you look at the season, not too much was missing, to be honest, but I feel like in the start when we was drawing a lot of games when we should have been winning, and then in the end we pretty much were stumbling over the line. We couldn't just pick up the wins ugly. I think when we played well, we won. When we didn't play well, we didn't win. I think that's what you need to do. Like Lincoln were not playing well but picking up wins, and obviously they got promoted. So I think that was the difference.
Yeah, obviously Lincoln went on to get promoted, and Mansfield is still in League Two, but it's football at the end of the day. We can't say, especially that MK Dons loss. I went to that game, and that second minute winner for them, It was heartbreaking, but
it just took that was a bad day for me, to be honest, because obviously the build up to the game, you're thinking the atmosphere is crazy. Like when we was walking through the like not even the tunnel, but like you get off the bus and then there's like a reception bit at MK Dons because the fans are all cheering. I was like, this is big today. And then for them to score in the second minute, it just knocked the wind out of our sails. From that, we never got going.
Yeah, we did throw the kitchen sink at it, but it wasn't meant to be, and we're still at League Two. But anyway, who would you say was your favourite teammate whilst you were playing at Mansfield Town?
In terms of what to play with?
To play with and on a friendship basis.
Do you know what that changing room as his friend? They're all my friends. That's the weird thing. Like that's one changing room I can say we was all like they're all like mean a lot to me. They're good friends of mine. Quite a lot of them. In terms of to play with, obviously I'm a midfielder who likes to play like through balls and stuff like that. So for me, it's like there's CJ because obviously he makes the runs. He's quick and I can makes him look good, makes me look good. And obviously then there's Tyler Walker as well. Same situation where he's a good player, so he brings your level up as well. So I'd say any of them two. And obviously I've got to mention the captain Christian Pearce, he's a rock. He's been there for years. So.
He's a rock. I'd probably say he's a club legend in my opinion.
Definitely.
He's been a phenomenal player alongside Mal Banning, Mr. Consistent.
Yeah, that's the thing. The quality in that team is just if you actually to name 2-3 players is probably unfair because the quality in that then you got Hayden White when he's fit and obviously he broke his leg, but we missed him a lot last year. Mal's got unbelievable quality. They got some really good players.
Absolutely phenomenal. What would you say is the best memory that you have taken from your time at Mansfield?
Best memory. I would say, obviously, it's disappointing because in the end it was disappointing. But last season was a joy to play in. To be honest, the atmosphere around the ground and the football we were playing is just everyone was together. So obviously, it was disappointing in the end. But overall, that's probably my favourite season in my career.
Okay, I've got a bit of a controversial one here. Yeah. It might be controversial, but what did you think of each manager you played under? So Steve Evans, we've got David Flitcroft, John Dempster, and Graham Coughlin. It's controversial, but I like it.
Okay. Well, who was Steve Evans first?
Steve Evans.
He was a good manager, like in terms of he got us winning stuff like that. He didn't really do too much on the training ground. It was more match day, let's win. But it was probably a bit frustrating how we had like a squad of 24 players. So each week, even if you played well, sometimes you'll be out of the team for this game, and that was a bit frustrating in the first year. And obviously, David Flitcroft took over in the back end of that season, so he had to deal with the aftermath of that type of thing. So it was basically like you're playing for yourself within the team because Steve Evans made it like that way type of thing in terms of he's trying to take your shirt, so you've got to play for yourself. And I think David Flitcroft, he doesn't like to work that way. He's more about the team. So I think that it was hard for him to pick up the back end of that season and get us promoted because obviously he doesn't work like that. So he needed to change a lot of things. And I think obviously over pre-season, he managed to do that.
We've obviously got the two more now-based managers, John Dempster and Graham Coughlin. We'll go to John Dempster first. Obviously, he came through the academy and managed the first team. What was it like to play under him, obviously, taking the first pre-season for him and obviously taking the squad over to Portugal? How was it under Dempster?
I think first of all, he's a really good guy, nice guy. You can talk to him about any problems you have. But he's a genuine guy. Do you know what I mean? But I feel like it was hard for him. Obviously, picking up from last season where we lost out on in the playoffs. I feel like maybe we should have moved more. But even if that's myself, anyone who had a good season last year, but maybe not going to do it for this year, he should have stamped his authority more in terms of he should have brought his own players in and moved the core of probably a few players out. But obviously he thought, I know he's thinking, because he's thinking, if I can just add a little bit here and there, we'll get promoted, because we nearly did last year. But obviously no two seasons are the same. And I think pre-season wasn't the best. We didn't do too much running and stuff like that. I think obviously it's his first managerial job, so I think maybe he didn't want to upset people, or so I think that if he ever does get a job again, I think he'll learn from them things, and he'll be better for it.
And obviously the manager now, you were at Mansfield for a few games when Graham Coughlin came in charge. What was it under him, and especially when he came over from Bristol Rovers to Mansfield?
Yeah, no, it was at first it was a bit crazy, to be honest. Like, obviously he demands a lot, in terms of, going back to what I said about John Dempster, in terms of where he didn't want to upset people. This Graham Coughlin, he didn't really care, to be honest. So he was a bit more like that, which even if they didn't like it, everyone respected it, to be honest. You knew where you stood with him in terms of whether you're in his plans, not in his plans. Well, pretty much everyone knew that. But no, yeah, he was straight to the point, really.
As I've seen through many videos, obviously when we lost a few games, drawing here and there, obviously stamping his authority and getting his point across, it was clear to see. And the last question that I've got is, what made you make the switch to Bolton on transfer deadline day in January?
I think it was for myself, really. There's been a lot of times where I've just said, at Mansfield I had a good contract, and sometimes I've just stayed there for the sake of it. I'm getting paid. I wasn't in the manager's plans. Then I was. Then I wasn't. So I was just like, I need to go and play games. So when I came to Bolton, I didn't care about what money they were offering me. I took a pay cut to go to Bolton. I just wanted to play football, and obviously this coronavirus thing just kind of messed it up a little bit. But obviously that can't be helped. You know what I mean? But that was my thinking when I left.
Yeah, just to hop back in, Adrian. Sorry,
go on, hop back in, jump in,
hop in. Not many people know, like, firsthand from a footballer, like, what it's like for you at this moment in time, in this unprecedented situation. We hear that word so many times.
Yeah. Too many times.
So how are you personally coping with it? What challenges have you had?
The most challenging thing is probably just to keep fit. Obviously we're doing runs. We've got runs to do. We have to send it into the group every day what we're doing. But it's just hard in terms of, if you're running on the road, you get your hips back. It's not like normal training. Do you know what I mean? It's just like running for the sake of it type of thing, just to keep fit. And it's not like with an end goal in mind. We don't know. If they said, do 12 sessions and then you're going to be back, but we don't have a clue. So it's just like Groundhog Day, really, at the minute.
Yeah. Adrian, pass it back over for the final.
You're passing it back over to me. You've played a few games for Bolton. How has it been? Give us a brief summary of the few games that you have played for Bolton.
I feel like most probably from pre-season I haven't been as fit as I can be. Last season I was fit, I was flying, felt good. So when I've come to Bolton, obviously I've had to do. Obviously I had David Flitcroft last year at Mansfield, so he's thinking, he asked me questions like, what's happened? Why are you not as fit as you was last season? This, that, the other. So I've been doing catch up, really, doing a lot of running and stuff like that, and trying to get match fit and then obviously the plan was for me to play like the last 10 games of the season. So because I knew I wasn't going to play at the start when I came, because I knew I had to catch up to the rest of the boys. So the plan was to play the last 10 and show what I can do, and obviously try and stay here.
Chris, I'm going to pass it over to you.
I think that's a very good way to finish at the here and now. And thank you very much, Jacob, for talking to us. We really appreciate it.
No problem.
And we wish you the best of luck with everything you're doing at the present moment in time. And hopefully the season will restart. We hope and pray ourselves. But this has been the Win Mentality YouTube channel. Give us a subscribe, and we will see you on the next video.